There we go. That's actually ironic because that's the name of the commander guy in this game.
Old Keys?
Well, he's not old yet, but I mean...
So
in Halo 2, he's Dead Keys.
He's Dead Keys. I think either on or off air, we were talking about just mob shows and things of that nature, and the fact that I was watching the whole Soprano thing, and by season, it's like I've been in season 4, I think now. It's just like it's getting a bit gratuitous in all capacities. It's what it is, like what initially endeared me to the show because of the fact that it was very raw and just kind of like, yeah, this is what the rough end of the mob actually looks like. And then it was like, yeah, but no. Because there were certain times that I was like, okay, you got people being like this one guy that is one of the captains. So he's further up the food chain.
Push your buttons.
For being a part of this whole deal.
Whoop.
And
okay, it didn't give me a mission select, which means
he's like short on cash at one point, and so he goes and just like murders one of his mom's friends at like the retirement community and steals from her. It's like, you okay? And it starts to be like there's enough bodies that are dropped that it's just like you can't just bullets are not free. Like you can't just go dropping people willy-nilly and having the cops be like, I wonder who would have done this. It just got to the point that I was like, okay,
hang on a second.
My suspension of disbelief is becoming challenging.
So it's acting stupid again.
As far as tears?
No, the saves, because I was thinking it would let me pick the mission, and maybe I could have just pushed the wrong button. That's entirely possible. But it seemed as though where I would normally have selected a mission, it just started from the beginning again. So.
Anyway, I don't know. I
have not
finished it, is all I'm saying, because it
got
to
but how do you know that that's not how it was? Maybe people, when they're desperate, they just act out.
Well, that's true, but then they also go to prison, because I'm sorry, you can't just go dropping bodies left and right. The mob isn't that careless with
first of all, how do you know? And B,
I have knowledge.
Well, but not saying, like first-hand knowledge.
Sure, but I'm just saying then
and maybe if he's an under guy, does he not? Wouldn't there be consequences? Did you see that far?
Yes.
And they didn't be like, hey, cut that out.
Not really. I was just like.
Was he made is the question. Oh, it was my fault.
Yeah, he was made.
Well, then that's why. You're stuck with those guys.
Well, sure.
So you got to be like, okay, well, something you can really do. I mean, that's probably not true. I'm pretty sure they'll.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The guy whose name escapes me.
There is a code in which you have to actually.
The guy whose name escapes me that I talked about before, who's on YouTube talking about actual mob experiences, has been like, no, there were definitely meetings when something bad happened and you go in and you're like, I'm not sure all of us are leaving this room.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, just because you're in doesn't mean that it's like, oh, you're protected. It's like, no, you screwed up big time.
No, I understand.
The hacksaw.
But it wasn't even, it's not, I guess the reason that I'm struggling is because it's not even like, this is business and unfortunately you crossed a line. It was like.
See, but again, this is, I think you've got some romantic view of what you wish the mob was.
It starts to get so fast and loose that it's like.
Yeah, but it's because isn't the whole show is about the era in which the mob is losing its everything.
Sure.
Losing ground in all of its aspects. So people are starting to get sloppy. That's the whole point of the show.
But I mean, it's like, just, I don't know. It got to the point that I was like,
caffeine-free Diet Coke is actually marginally better than regular Diet Coke. I have no clue why.
I think it's because of
I'm a 50-year-old man.
Oh, I felt so old the other day at the dojo. No, I'm dead serious. So I was at the dojo, and one of our students
That's a clever door mechanism, despite the fact that it would be largely impractical.
One of our students, I was talking to her at the beginning of class, and she's like, I was like something about just, I'm feeling a little bit old today or something. And she goes, what are you, like 22? I was like, no. I said, I'm significantly older than that. And she goes, what?
She's trying to help and just made it worse.
Well, and I was like, no, I'm like 33. And she goes, oh, you're older than my mom. I was like, oh. And it wasn't even like
How old is this kid?
she's like a teenager. I'm going, I don't like that.
Okay, how much older than... A, does she know how old her mom is? Because that's one thing I don't think teenagers really know.
Well, maybe, but it was enough to give me the heebie-jeebies.
Either that or her mom's got something to explain.
Yeah, I suppose that actually may be a possibility. What do we have up here?
I feel like...
Hang
on a second. I feel like I turned...
Do we have
Cover for me. I've got to get the remote.
Beam sword... okay.
Well, the remote said no to that.
It's exposed you for what you are.
Never mind. I was gonna say that it's a little quieter than it needs to be, but I guess we're used to playing in silence.
Undetected. Okay,
wait, hang on.
What are you?
Buddy. Well, I should have caught this because I caught it last time. It's because the audio's not coming through again. Capture card isn't capturing the audio.
Oh, so we're going to have to disconnect it altogether.
It could be that. Because I forget what I did last time to make it work. Dadgummit, I don't want to have to start over.
Stop. Might as
No.
well. No.
Stubbornness says no. It says it's active and it says it's working, and I did this last time and literally I didn't do anything different. But it just decided it was going to work at some point. What I think, all right, hang on, since we're already paused, I'll just do a pause and then come back and it'll all be fixed forever. Everything is fine. Nothing is ruined. Can't do a strong bad voice anymore. I used to be able to do it when I was a kid.
So, in other news, Amazon is at it again with their attempts at
that might be
series
too loud.
That should never.
You should hear audio now because we care about you so much.
But just attempts at their series that they should never touch.
Like Fallout.
Well, that, and then they're trying to make a series now on GoldenEye 007, but I'm like,
well, there's already movies of those.
I know, and
actually, wait, hang on, like GoldenEye or just
not GoldenEye specifically.
I was about to say, it was like because that's Mortal Kombat the movie, the game territory.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's getting into.
They made a game based off a movie. Let's make a show based off of that game.
But it's getting now into the territory they're using definitely a B-list Bond, and I'm going, okay, that's gonna automatically be horrible. Too. What does that mean?
Well, not all the Bonds have been A-listers.
Well, that's true. Arguably, who is the worst one?
That entirely, it's like asking who's the best Batman. That's going to entirely depend on your age and generation.
You think so?
Yeah, because Connery is fairly well regarded.
Right, I still think
by the
across the board, yeah.
By the broadest swath.
Yeah.
But some people liked Roger Moore because he was more
suave,
a little bit. And he was a little less serious than Connery. And then some people think Pierce Brosnan's terrible, but then other people say no, he's fine.
I didn't mind Pierce Brosnan. I didn't think. He was just the Bond that I grew up with, so that for me was
You've just proved my previous point.
Well, no, I'm not. What I'm saying is I don't know that I would ever say or try to defend him and go, he's great. I'm like, no, he's not that great. He's just okay. So
well, the theory I heard, which I have no real context for because I have not watched any of the Bond material. Is
none?
No, games is about the only experience I have is the Bond games. By that I mean the one that's really good and the rest that are not. The one you tried to get me to play wasn't good. I'm just saying it.
I don't think it was bad.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But the theory is that every James Bond is an overreaction to the last.
Are you just taking that from me early? Is that what's happening?
What? I don't know who first said it. I'm just saying that's what I've heard, and it kind of makes sense. I mean, given that in my lifetime they went, well, I say lifetime, not that I knew, but technically within my lifetime, they went from Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig, which is a pretty
I will say
this, shift in tone.
Even with
that's largely due to the fact that the Bourne movies had sort of stolen James Bond's thunder.
Well, that's a little strong, I think.
No, because James Bond has always been a little bit silly. Not necessarily, but campy at best.
Campy, sure.
And Daniel Craig, I mean,
Daniel Craig,
he's
I feel
witty,
like
but he's for the most part,
no, he brought something to it that I think was
it's
more
a
in
much more
line
serious modern spy. It's
Yeah.
it's Jason Bourne-ish.
He brought that almost like Sean Connery vibe back to it a little bit, I think, where it was a bit mysterious and not always quite like you didn't know why you enjoyed it, but you did. Like it wasn't quite as he's the man's man kind of a thing. It was more like, okay, I have no ammo. That's what it was like.
That's what it is, yeah, well. James Bond doesn't need ammo.
He eats ammo for breakfast. That's why he has no ammo.
Now I'm out of ammo. This is awful. I'm not going to be able to kill all these things with this little guy. I don't know how we're gonna... There you go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes, please. Oh, goodness, this shotgun is riotous. You know, there's actually a company that made the Halo shotgun, for real.
Huh.
I don't think it's like commercially available. They've done like a prototype of it.
It's a prototype.
But I don't know. That's an interesting... Let's talk about that. Except we already did just now.
Well, I
don't know. James Bond is a topic we could talk a lot about, which I don't know, so...
Well, I'm just surprised you haven't seen any of them.
Well, because from what I've heard, they're not all that great. Like, it seems like they're...
Certain ones are
bag.
good. Yeah, that's true. I think
It's
it
a
was
pretty big
it's
mixed
such
bag.
a broad...
Like, there's like... Aren't there like over 40 of them?
There's quite a few. I don't know that there are 40, but there's quite a few.
I'm
I
gonna
do
grab
know...
the thing. It's floating in the middle of the space. This is probably going to get me killed, so don't die. Nope, didn't work. I'd like to think the little robot who is, you know, prepared for us and saying, "Oh, you're the guy who's going to do this. Oh, let me take you to the thing." And then just he sees me jump off the cliff. Like, this humanity is not all it was cracked up to be. That is a zoom up of a jockstrap.
This is who we're entrusting with the...
You're about to walk off the cliff.
Don't do it, you freak of nature.
Don't probe me in the hiney.
Don't.
You're
He's trying to...
Okay,
I swear they push you in, because I wasn't moving. I was moving the opposite direction.
I do not, but they don't... No, that isn't how this works.
That's not how any of this works.
Okay, so the shotgun is great against the big guys. It's actually not very useful against the little guys. Because, well, I mean, I guess it's useful in that it kills them, but it kills one at a time, which seems like a waste. Oh!
Okay.
That was your fault. You stood in front of it.
You blew my butt off you.
Hey, at least you came back real quick that time. Ah! Okay, yeah. You're on little guy duty. I'm on big guy duty. Meat or potatoes? Because shotgun does good work against the big fellas, but it is wasteful against the little guys. Oh, that was a direct hit. Well, big fella, my job. And you can come clean up.
Do you realize he turns into little
Yeah, now it's your job. We're tag teaming here. Whee!
Okay,
I was about to say that was a... Oh, is the robot speaking, or... Don't do what I did. Robot's trying to tell us something. Oh, we gotta go in here first. Some kind of controls. Where's the street sweep? Street sweep! Sweep the street!
What are you on about?
There's a bunch of little guys in the corridor.
Everybody around the world, I'm in the wrong side of the corridor.
I don't know what that was intending to be.
Dancing in the street, you weirdo.
Who's that by that I would know?
I think you're gonna regret saying that.
Do you? I don't. Okay, Is that the end of that? You're not even going to fight back on that one?
I'll let it be.
Okay.
The world will be your judge for not knowing Dancing in the Street.
By who?
I don't know who it's by offhand.
Well, then... Okay, so you don't even know. So how am I supposed to care about this song?
I'm saying the song is fairly...
Amongst what circles?
It's like an old school in the same camp as like Dancing Queen and...
Okay, so disco. I will have no shame at all about not knowing disco.
It's not disco.
Well, Dancing Queen was disco.
No.
Yes. Isn't it by ABBA?
Yeah, but...
Okay, ABBA, the only disco band anyone ever knows?
I don't know that you can classify them as disco.
Yes. Pretty sure ABBA's like the arch disco band.
Arch disco.
Okay, so shotgun still doing good work. Well,
Mind me, I'm just saving your life from the face suckers.
Yeah, and I'm saving your life from the meat pounders.
Wow.
So this is what teamwork looks like.
Would your name be Sledge Chop or Pork Hammer?
Okay, see, when they come in groups like that, the shotgun's useful, because then I can, like, take out a bunch of them at once. And I don't want to waste shotgun ammo on one of these guys. Oh, now it's my turn to save you! Oh, they broke up. Here's what you should do. Run in a circle so that they all, like, create a convenient trail, and then I can shoot all of them at once. It's odd that they turn into little paper confetti. You good? You good? One left. Give him a wallop. Okay. Well, feels
this feels right. No, I mean, I agree that there's so many different Bonds, and each era has kind of taken a new spin on it, that it's like there's not... You can't say, I'm just a Bond fan across the board. I think that's a little bit too broad.
You probably could.
Yeah, but if you are one of those people, you're not very discerning in your choices.
Wow. Bit judgmental. Maybe they've seen all the different Bonds and they appreciate what each one brings to the table.
Maybe so, but then you have to actually justify that reasoning, because if it's something stupid like, I just like them all, and it's something based on purely the empty kind of, we like exploding things and shooting people.
Well, it's like people who like the Transformers movies.
Well, that's precisely my point. We all can agree that's white trash.
Is it white trash exclusively?
Maybe it's just trash.
Well, I think so. All right, who's next?
Non-racially charged trash.
Hello.
You dropped that guy like a bag of hammers.
I told you, the shotgun is meant for those. Call it my meat tenderizer.
Don't, please.
Well, I mean...
Don't ever call it that again.
Take a look at what's left of them there. That seems pretty tenderized.
I don't think I want to take a look at this tender meat.
Hello. Well, here's the thing. I was totally unrelated topic. It's not even a topic.
Okay. That was
okay. Well, that puts me out. Oh, you say oh. Daylight comes and I won't make it home.
Come.
No! How did they explode with such force to hurl my 1,000-pound butt? Hey, I've still got the shotgun. Here's the thing.
You brought such ineffective weapons to combat.
Here's the thing.
There's no thing. I was in anticipation. I've realized that what we've essentially, this has essentially become, is just like bowling night.
Wow.
Because, and
I wanted to go bowling.
It's an interesting Well, I mean, not just not explicitly in reference to that, but that is
Okay,
obviously...
you're slacking on the job here.
Well, I was going the wrong...
chopping my meat.
His name was Butcher Pete. Okay, those are holes in the floor.
Yeah, that's what I
thought there was glass. There was glass previously.
If I survive, I will forever lord it over you.
Okay.
Just joking.
I don't know what I want to happen now. I mean, I'm waiting on you to respond, so...
I have no ammo!
Well, alright, well, we know what's going to happen now.
I'm picking them off with a pea shooter.
Oh, hey!
This is a 22
Oh,
gun.
you should have died because now I lost the
You
shotgun.
should have died. You should have laid down and died.
I don't have the shotgun anymore, which means we're both on mop duty. There'll be no tender meat within 100 miles. Well, okay then.
Well,
But anyways, it occurred to me because I don't know why. In the past, I suppose it's due to the fact that in the past couple of weeks we've joked and it's not always been a joke about the like putting out fires at work and needing a breather. And I think so. I think in some ways it's almost like
a bad thing. That's kind of always what it was. It just
no.
was,
Well, for me, it used to just be goof off, whatever. I mean, it's not that it isn't that, but I was not previously in such employment that I was like under any form of stress whatsoever. I used to work a useless office job, and I mean now I'm working a useful office job. But it's
also a stressful office job.
Yeah, it's a more demanding.
Comes stress.
Well, I mean, yeah, basically, that's your life lesson. So it went from, oh, yeah, let's play games because I like playing games, to let's please just let me have a
more like
moment.
Yeah. Well, that's the truth. I mean, I hope it's still fun.
Why am I shooting?
Fun for me, but it's definitely...
Well, this? No, of course. I'm not saying this has changed
This is why I wanted
quality.
to do eventually the Force Unleashed, because...
Oh, the stupid hole!
It fits the kind of bill on... You know, with you being a gray Jedi in that you're kind of on the fence about whether you're going to be good or bad, there's certain days you're going to be like...
You talking about me, or you talking about the game?
Well, both. I'm saying...
Since you're on the brink of moral collapse, I figured we might play this other game.
Certain days you're going to come home, you're going to come in and be like, it's a good Friday, we're going to save your life today. And other days you're going to be like, power!
Oh, your exertion has broken the game.
So I'm just saying, there are certain days you're like, no, sorry, you die today. I don't really care.
No life for you.
No more life for you.
Your week was apparently worse than mine. Because that's the joke. That's mostly what it was. It was that... I don't know. That didn't used to be a recurring topic of how much did your week suck?
Well, I mean,
and that's what makes it feel like bowling nights.
About it on air. I don't know.
Well, no, but I mean, maybe you're just complaining more than usual, or I've only noticed because I've started to join you. No, I'm just saying that's what I feel like we've reached peak bowling material, or it's just like the first 30 minutes are how much crap did you shovel? 16 tons of number 9 crap.
I think of that one scene where in Peaky, because again everything for me goes back to that. What was it? What was the rule for a while? It was like either
Jordan Peterson, Arcane,
or Peaky,
or Alan Watts.
Yeah, those four.
It's not a trinity anymore. It's
not even 4. It's 5. So
who's 5?
It's a quintet.
Who's 5? Alan, Peter.
That's what
Arcane, Peaky. That's 4.
Oh. So yeah, no, quintet would still work.
Oh, that's 5. Quartet is what you're talking about.
Yeah, quartet. A quartet of. Anyway, but there's a scene in Peaky Blinders where Tommy goes back into the stables with Curly, and he all of a sudden just grabs a shovel and randomly starts like shoveling crap. And he's like, "What you doing, Tom?" He's like, "Shoveling crap, Curly." And then he's basically just like, "Yeah, because this reminds me why I am who I am, and not
You.
You, essentially, which is, it was incredibly insulting, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I get that.
Why, oh, bad times for me. Oh, come on!
No, you're not dead.
Oh, this isn't a hole. This isn't
is
that
a
kind of hole.
It's a good hole.
It's a trench.
I met his friends.
What's the difference between a hole and a trench? Is it just the amount of people in it?
Oh, my word.
You can fit more people in a trench than a hole is all I'm saying.
Goodness sakes.
I mean, look at the First World War. Lots of
I'd
people.
rather you didn't.
Lots of people in trenches. You could fit an entire army in a trench.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
I want my shotgun back.
Tell these guys. They may actually...
Go and find me a shotgun and bring it back.
Anyway.
Ain't no shotgun when it's gone.
But, no, it's... I don't know that... Maybe a bit of both as far as me complaining a tinge more. I mean, I think with the new role as far as responsibility, it's a little bit like... But at the same time, there's a part of me within my new role that is a little bit like...
Okay, I just want to point out, there is glass here.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Okay, so a single stray bullet. You'd think if it was part of the floor, they might use some more sturdy glass.
Yeah,
Might use some of that bulletproof stuff.
especially if it's that far a fall.
Exactly. I'm just saying OSHA would have a field day.
OSHA has a field day on a lot of job sites, to be honest, and most people just give it a bird and move on.
What actually is it? Like, do they have any real authority?
No, not... I mean, yes, but... Only
Or is
to
it just like,
basically-
you'll have to be written up for this? It's like, okay, guess what that does?
It will eventually, like, remove your job. It's similar to, like, Railroad Commission, those kinds of things. Where you're then like if we get docked, for instance, with the Railroad Commission, then eventually we get to the point that our company can't work with certain people because of the fact that we
You actually have to deal with this?
yeah.
I've never dealt with railroads in my...
Well, that's because you don't pass under them.
Oh, fair enough.
But Railroad Commission's actually
See, you're doing your construction all wrong. It's supposed to be on top of the ground.
Wow. It's also true though the Railroad Commission handles all utilities that is what is it? Because it's not solely railroad. I mean, like they say Railroad Commission, but it's become a bigger kind of branch authority for larger bits of like utility, like water, sewer, all those kinds of things are typically handled by the city. But anything else, infrastructure-wise, is if it's on major highways.
I would have thought the
like
Department of
high- like-
Transit has, or Transportation does those.
Yeah, TxDOT does have some say in those
Or
things.
I guess
but-
technically is railroad part of DOT?
yeah,
I mean, it's transportation, I suppose.
it's like DOT.
Whoa! We got a
DOT
friend
is the
in
mother.
me.
DOT is the mother.
Oh, hey, we do have friends.
And then the one that you mostly deal with is like bad cop is the Railroad Commission, and they come in and say,
I'm glad I don't have to deal with
"What
any of
color's
this.
my underwear?" Smack.
Yeah, I don't have to deal with this nonsense.
That is actually not far from what it feels like. It's certainly akin to that when it comes to what depths you're supposed to be drilling at and things like that. It's like you'll do a job, you'll complete it, and then they'll be like, "This is supposed to be at a 5-foot depth." It's like, "Oh, well, we didn't do that." And they're like, "Well, next time, don't forget." Sometimes, most of the time, they'll do that. It is a little bit of a... This is why I actually like parts of my job, is because the parts of my job I enjoy are the parts that are like the essentially rubbing elbows with people and getting on the city's good side, because that's a large part of my job. Because if you can do that, then you can overlook a lot of the red tape, because people go, "You can't do that, you little scamp, you." But if you aren't on their good side, they'll be like, "Guess what? You're going to prison. You ain't coming out."
Give me the... What was that? Shadow. Oh.
They're gonna have to revoke my license for 5 years.
No!
No. What's the? No, we'll ruin your credit.
Ah! Here come the ugly ones.
Ruin your credit for 7 years. Well, shoot, I've been talking to you for 5.
Oh, that was the worst thing I could have done. Rather than kill them all in a nice orderly line, I put a grenade in the middle of them, which launched them everywhere. I'll take the credit for that one.
Take molding spores for 200, John. Is his name John?
No.
He seems like.
But now the thing is, I can't remember. Alex, that's his name.
Alex. That's what it is.
Alex, that's
Boris, try that.
This
Is
where
it
we
still
came from?
Alex?
Well, I think he's
Mr.
dead, isn't he?
Alex? I thought so too.
So I don't know who it is now.
Maybe nobody. Maybe there's no Prices Right. Or no, that's Wheel of Fortune.
It's not, yeah, I mean,
No, Jeopardy. That's what it is.
it's still around. I don't know. It's hosted by an AI.
It's hosted by an AI. That's incorrect, sir. No, it's not.
And if it's anything
Yes,
like
it is.
if it's anything like the computers I've dealt with, it'll tell you you're wrong, and then it'll tell you the answer that's right was your answer.
And why the reason why you were wrong was because you got there too quickly.
Up.
That this one was me.
Are you gonna fix it?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Okay, now it's
decided
decided
not to follow Jesus.
It's decided to follow itself into the dark. There's no one to guide you when your soul embarks.
Oh, okay, bye.
I really don't care. I'll light you up. I'm sorry, that just took a really dark turn.
Dark? No, I think it actually took a pretty funny turn. You're gonna have to swap it out for the other thing.
This one may actually be a
Well,
battery.
is bowling? Are we done bowl griping? Gripe bowling.
That almost looked like I knew what I was doing.
You talking about work, or are you talking about that?
Talking about what I have to do at work.
Now, here's a random question, because it happened to me for the first time in my life.
You're gonna notice my voice start to get real gravelly over the next couple of years.
I'm not smoking, I promise. I had, for the first time...
A cigarette. I'm sorry.
You know, it is addictive. Heroin. It was, I can't remember. It was not this past weekend. It was, actually, it might have been. Now, I can't remember if it was this past weekend or the weekend before. But I literally woke up, middle of the night, I think on like Friday or Saturday. It was Friday, because it was early in the weekend. And I was like, oh gosh, I made the wrong markups on that drawing.
Oh no.
But it was literally like one of those stereotypical, I'm asleep, and just went, hang on, I did that wrong.
Oh no.
And I've never had that kind of a cognizant moment of like, I don't know how it was buried in my head all day. And then it took hours until I was asleep that my subconscious was like, hey, by the way, you screwed up on that.
Your head pop up that pillow that day. Oh no, that test today.
But it was also worse because it was
6 months to work on it. It did nothing.
Because then I had to go through the rest of the weekend being like, Monday morning, that's the first thing I got to fix. And it was one of those, like, when I realized it, you're just like, oh, that was really stupid. How did I not catch that? And then I'm mostly impressed at the fact that my subconscious mind hung on to it and was like, it was so stupid that it was just buried there and I had to correct myself. Because it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, you made someone to come back and be like, hey, by the way, you made a typo on this thing. But to have it be something that your own subconscious comes back to you with.
As long as you don't have any pubic emoles, I think you're fine. My grandfather back when he was working with I don't have bullets and you don't have brains, so we're a brainless, spineless, chickenless,
bulletless egg.
Walletless egg. He had a secretary that was horrible at like proofreading and things like that, and so she sent out apparently a letter that was supposed to read a letter to all public employees, and it went out to the entire company from a Fortune 500 company as a word to all pubic emoles. And everybody was
Everyone's going,
am I a pubic emole? I don't know.
How does
I
that?
just got a kick out of that.
No, it wasn't that bad. And it honestly, it was one of those things. It wasn't big enough of a problem that it was like needing, yeah, that would cause that kind of repercussions. But it was just a little bit like, oh, okay. I was mostly just stunned by the fact that I've never had that cognizant moment. Because generally, when you make a mistake, you don't know you made it.
Sure.
But apparently, some part of me knew I made that wrong, and then reminded me later, and that was a very strange experience. But anyways. Will these lasers actually hurt us if we're in the middle of them?
Yes, because I just got burned.
Because, I mean, I know they're technically on our side, but... Who... Is that guy laughing? Because that's creepy.
Never know the sun till it's...
Anyways.
Anyway.
So, yes, bull griping
Yeah,
is over.
It wasn't bad. I give this week, I think, too much crap. It was decent. It was just the beginning of the week actually started off pretty horribly because I had double billed our coordinating group. It was like, well, sorry. They were like, hey, you charged us twice for this. I was like, you are exactly right. So I had to just pretty much own that, put my foot in my mouth and be like, sorry, here's your money back.
That's correct!
But luckily they were good sports about it because I've really never done that.
Hello, I thought that was you! I thought you would respond!
I'm like sitting there trying to grope your shoulder.
Well, because he wasn't all that aggressive about it. He was mostly
buddy.
just didn't quite know public personal space.
Hey, buddy. You're just blowing from Super Town.
It's not like you said you blow in from Soup Town.
I am Soup King.
Hold your position until the monitor returns. Great. My video game senses tell me this is a bad idea.
Pops in the hall monitor.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm going to get up on this
Here comes
box.
the bad times.
I can't get up on the... You can't get up on ye box. You just sit wondering why on earth you can't get up on ye box. What are you...
Follow the monitor. Whoa!
Yes, you're welcome.
It just explode in lovely little confetti.
Because of my...
And by lovely little confetti, I mean bits of rotting flesh.
Didn't need to be said.
Well, I mean, you'd never forget that birthday.
Wow.
That joke was still my best birthdays ever.
Where's Grandma's ashes? I'm sorry.
That was not the direction I was going, but okay.
Happy birthday, Johnny! Get this off of me! Grandma's ashes, I keep getting these.
Well, if you really wanted to do something metaphorical, you'd, whenever someone gets married.
I'm not following, I insist.
Instead of rice or bubbles or whatever,
Oh,
or flower
okay.
petals.
I was thinking, what are you on about?
It's a cycle of life and death sort of metaphor.
Just play that as they're on their way out of their wedding. It's the circle of life. And we're throwing grams all over your...
Where are you?
I am dead, my friend.
I am dead.
I am the next bottle of ashes to be scattered across the barren lands of time.
I thought you were going to bring that back to a wedding somehow, and I wasn't sure where you were going.
No, I was going more waxing poetic.
Poetry, then.
Poetry, then.
Let's talk about that.
I can talk about that.
Let's talk about how free verse poetry isn't poetry.
Let's talk about
I'm saying it.
how William Blake is a very underrated poet by comparison to some of the others.
Okay.
You don't like Blake?
I don't know that I can corroborate. I will. It's sure.
Sure.
I won't disagree. I don't have any grounds. I'm just saying, I free verse poetry isn't. And I will die on that hill and take you with me. Because here's the thing. What is poetry? It is rhythm and rhyme together. It can't be one or either.
Bust rhymes.
It has to be both. Because otherwise, I mean...
I imagine it's akin to the way that rappers feel the rappers feel about what is it called?
That he didn't roast me.
What is that weird rap
What
called?
do you reckon he's up to?
He's undulating and he's trying to.
I'm just saying, is he?
He's about to climax. Don't worry about it.
I was gonna try to be more delicate about that. I mean, he is. See. I mean.
He got by with a little help.
I'm just saying. Well, if we analyze what just happened biologically, what was he? He was attempting to spread his spores or seeds or whatever you
spores.
He's gather ye rosebuds while you may, he says. Anyways, poetry. That was a brilliant loop back. I did a loop back. Get out of my way!
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
No! I'm in the front and I'm dying.
What? It's just a normal hallway full of... Oh my goodness! Oh, that was you. Anyways, yes, I'm staunch on this opinion.
Well, I don't disagree with the opinion. I think it's it's called mumble rap, I think, and I would imagine it's akin to what actual rappers think of mumble rappers, because it's literally like you're not even saying words. I'm here perfecting my craft, trying to spit actually quality material.
Here's another totally random topic. I mean, not random, adjacent, but not whatever. I won't. I've used up my one good transition.
At least you admit that was more like Mr. Bean.
You showed me the Dax guy with that one song.
Yeah.
Did you know he's like actually good at other things too?
Yeah, I know he's good.
I didn't, because it was one of those weird things where
I don't like your face.
I don't like you. Because I came across, because that song, the one you showed me, is not indicative of his normal stuff exactly.
No, that's true.
So I came across his like actual genuine hip hop type stuff, and I was like, oh, I actually kind of like this guy, which is rare. I won't go so far as to say I don't like it, but I certainly like other things more most of the time.
I am very picky with it because I can appreciate the skill it takes, and most of the time rappers are very good wordsmiths.
Are they?
If you're good, yes.
Wow. You know, them good rappers, they can be good. Good rap is good rap. And when you got good rappers doing good rap, that's the best kind of rap there is.
My goodness, he's got some good lyrics. He's got a thing. He's got words.
Expletives between.
Expletives between. It's good.
It's poop.
This rap is the beep.
You. So anyways, yeah, I found his other stuff and I was like, oh, this guy's great. And then as I was listening to more of it, that song you showed me came up. I was like, oh, it's this guy. Came full circle. So yeah, you should check him out if you're rap adjacent. But anyways, poetry. I mean, rap, I won't say isn't poetry.
I don't like
But that's
free
because
verse.
it's got rhythm and rhyme.
It's also
here's the thing. Rap has both rhythm and rhyme.
Exactly.
And everyone knows that's the primary feature of it. Now, that doesn't mean what I'm not trying to say is that it has to be like strict Shakespearean iambic pentameter. You can play with the rhythm and rhyme. Rap does this a lot where it has rhythm, but it sort
all
of
a sudden it'll break.
It'll break and switch and sort of it'll shake up the rhythm in the middle of a line and then go back and do things that are interesting like that. You can do that in regular poetry. I mean, perhaps the addition of music makes things like that easier to
They
do. I don't
told
know.
me to go straight to hell. That was just like they were standing there like I can't even put together any sort of witty remark because it was just they were just waiting for the day. Come on, buddy, make our day.
I don't know where. Oh, here they are. Whoa!
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're not. So basically, these guys don't jerk around. He's just boom.
Okay, that was quite a spawn point. Yeah, you just got exploded by the Rocket Man. Here to deal with disembodied
Deal with
spores. I could have said something worse.
face tentacles.
Land-based cuttlefish.
No, I think well, it's like free. What is it called? Freeform jazz too. It's like, okay, this is not even like now the instruments aren't even playing together anymore. This is now just a bunch of muddled nonsense.
Where's hello?
So forgive anybody that does
No, I won't.
freeform jazz, but sorry.
I was going to say free verse poetry. It's just no, it's not poetry anymore.
Oh, I thought that was you. I was
If
sitting
you
here.
wanna be creative, okay. Someone said no to me. And sort of, if you're trying to say that you just don't want to be strictly limited by like Shakespearean, it's like fine, you don't have to do that. But if it just doesn't rhyme or have any kind of rhythm at all, then you've just made bad prose, is what it is.
Well, prose, I think, is a word that we need to bring back because most people classify poetry as what would just be considered prose.
I wouldn't say most people do. Free verse poets do. Because they think, well,
I would say most academics act like, anything can be poetry. as
well,
long as
yeah,
it's
but they
artistic,
also
and it's
act like anything can be art, and it's like, no, it can't.
Well, that's.
I strongly. There was the. I don't remember where I saw it. It was an internet thing, but it was. They had. I forget if it was like some school or something had. No, I think it was even more serious than that. It was like some art exhibit. The janitor threw something away that was like apparently one of the pieces, and there was some people were concerned, be like, this guy better not get fired for this because they show the pictures of what it was, and it was like, nah, he was right in thinking that was trash. And so someone made the joke of like art professors going, what is art? This guy going, not this. And it's true. It's just like, no, not everything can be art, and not everything can be poetry.
Well, it's the whole quote.
Yeah, it's the big boy. You're playing
rocket
with the
launcher
big boys now.
and shove it where the sun don't shine, pal.
I watched that happen from the distance. I can go the distance. I will. Oh. I'm playing chicken with a rocket man. No.
He's gonna find your way.
How? Find my way
He's gonna make his own new way
through you.
through you.
Well, don't die.
This time.
He ain't dead. Stay alive. There we go. I'm back to my pea shooter. There we go.
Oh. Okay.
Well, you're probably not going to have a whole lot of ammo for that, and try not to kill me with it, please, because that's what I see happening next. Holy. So, anyways, call me
Like that?
call me an art snob or whatever. I'm just saying you got to have rules, because that's the thing. Why? The only thing that separates prose from poetry is the rigid structure of poetry versus prose, which is just freeform. You could write eloquent prose if that's what you want to do, but you can't call it poetry. It's still prose. And I guess maybe is the problem that people just are pretentious and they want to be like, no, prose is not as fancy as poetry. Therefore, I want to call what I'm doing poetry even if it's not. It's just like, well, prose isn't a problem. Prose is fine. We like prose. So just accept that you're an author or whatever, and just quit defaming poetry because you can't get over that.
Or you can't rise to the occasion.
Well, yes, basically.
Yes, I agree.
So there you go.
Anybody that
we
disagrees,
we got something out of this. Anyone who disagrees is a failed poet.
And they know it. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Hey-oh! Giblets.